Before you begin today's packet, go ahead and close it. Back to Monday. Once you have closed it to Monday, I need you to do something for me. Make sure that your name, homeroom, and period are in the top right-hand corner. I had about half of this class not put their names on papers last week. Last week I gave you a break and let you get full credit for it. This week, if you do not put your name on your paper, you're going to lose a point. You don't want to lose a point. Put your name on your paper. I'm telling you right now, do that if you have not done that. Once you've done that, flip over to Friday. Today you are going to be reading a piece of text and answering a couple of questions. I put some handwritten directions on there. Would anybody like to read to me what those handwritten directions are? Audrey.
Underline the answer in the text, circle the answer.
Any questions? What do I mean by that? Reese, what's your question? Logan.
I got a question for the paper.
Okay.
So when we are supposed to underline and answer in the text, do you want us to put, like, if we got it and then we circled the right answer, do you want us to put like A or B or C right next to your underlined text?
Oh, good question. So can I use my words? So what he's asking is, when it says underline the answer and then circle it. So if he underlines this for A, should he put A next to it? Yeah, go ahead and do that for me. Yes, I like that. So when you're reading and you get down to the questions, you're going to find your answer down here. Then you're going to go refer back to your text and underline. What is that called when we refer back to our text? What are we looking for? What is Miss Lewis has been pounding this into your brains, Maddie.
We are going to find text evidence.
Exactly. You were looking for text evidence, and you are showing me by underlining it that you have text evidence to support your answer. All right. Any more questions, Maddie?
So, do you think, like, if we finish early, do you think we will have enough time to go back and make sure all the questions were answered?
Yeah, sure. If you finish this before the time is up, yeah, flip back through. Make sure you have everything answered. Annie.
I'm kind of confused. Like when it says underline the answer in the text.
Lucy, what do you think? Can you help her out?
Well, I think it's like that could be text evidence to support your thinking.
Okay, and then like underline the answer in the text and circle the answer. When you like then like underline and then like
Kyla, what do you think?
Well, in the directions for the first one, it said underline the answer in the text. So that's technically, or that is your text evidence in the text. And then on the bottom, circle the answer, which is the questions for the number 1 and number 2. So when you're circling the answer, that's for the number 1 and number 2.
Does that make sense, Annie? So you're underlining the text, and then when you get to the questions at the bottom, you're going to answer, you're going to circle the right answer. Got it? Okay. Any other questions? Reese?
Are we going to turn it in or are we going to check it?
We are going to check it first. I just want to make sure that we're comfortable with the underlining the text evidence. Okay? All right, go. she is finishing up a test question. Can she finish that and then come down? I'm saying probably less than 3 minutes she'll be there. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Bye. Working on the questions, just a show of hands. If I was to say you had between 0 and 2 minutes, show me with your fingers whether you would need 0, 1, or 2 minutes. Okay, perfect, thank you. Harley asked, if we're being filmed, can we do that? Yeah. Part of this whole experience is showing what an awesome teacher I am. I'm an awesome teacher for letting you clap. Definitely. Okay, we are going to go over this super quick because walking around it looked like most of you were very comfortable with what we were doing. Reese, what did you get for the first answer?
I got
Which was ancient lives?
ancient lives.
Okay, would you tell us, or actually, take your paper up to the document camera and show us what piece of evidence, text evidence, supported your answer. I did. I broke the circuit. Here, I'll give it just a second. I think I'll come back on.
Need the light.
There we go. Perfect. Okay. What piece of text evidence helped you answer this question? So scientists uncovered what appeared to be a massive graveyard of whale bones. Okay. I can appreciate that. Digging up a graveyard of whale bones brought him to the conclusion that it was talking about ancient life. Anybody else? Annie, what did you come up with?
I was kind of
Thank you,
confused.
Reese.
I thought it was like, what?
I'm sorry, I was.
Do I come up with it?
Go ahead. You can come up here and show us where you got text evidence.
I got a different answer because I was kind of confused because I thought it could be all of them.
Okay.
I kind of thought because on this one up here is a child, so I thought it was this one. But that one was in bold, and that's the only word that you can see that was not married.
Okay. So this is actually pronounced Chile, and it's a place. So it's a place in Southern America.
And then ancient life, I kind of thought it was that too because it's like fossils and like whale bones.
Okay.
Ancient, and then deserts because there were a lot of like, they were talking about like deserts too.
Okay. You have some questions, Annie.
I was going to ask you what was your text evidence because I got B, ancient life, because at the starting it says paleontologists who study life from ancient times. So I was wondering what your text evidence was.
My text evidence was, well, I just seen that it was kind of talking about deserts because like there was like Dryas desert, Atacama desert, I think, and the desert in Chile.
Okay.
And
I have a question for you, Annie.
yes.
Do you think that paleontologists only study in Chile? Do you think this is the only place that paleontologists work?
No.
Okay. And the statement is about paleontologists, but doesn't tell us which ones. We're going to assume it's talking about all paleontologists. So paleontologists study. So we think they probably study in more than just Chile. So we can cross that one off. Do you think that all paleontologists study in the desert? Every single one of them?
No.
Okay.
I think all of them study in some way.
There you go. So even though paleontologists may study in Chile, and they may study in the desert. Not all of them do. Does that make sense? So when you're looking at your MSP questions, and there are some answers, and your choices all sound like they may be right, think about whether it's all the time or just some of the time. You are most likely looking for the answer that is going to be all of the time, or the most right.
It was kind of confusing.
Okay, and that's why we're going over it. All right, so Logan, do you have something to add on to that? Thank you, Amy.
Oh, no, I was
Are you ready?
going to ask if I can do this one.
Yes, what did you get for number 2?
I got 8.
Okay, you want to show us how you got A? What evidence? So what the answer that he chose was whales must have once lived in hot areas.
The reason I picked A was because it says what were whale bones found in a desert half a mile, and I found half a mile, so I started underlining the graveyard of a whale bones in hot field.
I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Koi? I don't know. Chile.
Chile, more than a half mile from the ocean, more than 80 whales including 25 complete skeletons were found in the driest desert in the world. And then it says currently a construction project to widen a highway near the desert where the bones were found. So I thought it was a hot area because it said there's something about it didn't.
Okay.
That's where they found the whales.
Okay, you have some questions. You have some hands. What do you think?
Lucy?
Well, I got B. The area where the bones were found once had water. I went over to
So you respectfully disagree with him?
Yes, I respectfully disagree. And because I think it's B. And my evidence was when it said down on.
Lucy, would you like to come up to the board and show us where your text evidence was?
I found it.
Thank you, Logan.
It said right here, scientists have many theories. They said maybe the area was once a lagoon and it dried up.
Okay. So Lucy asked me when we were answering these questions, what is a lagoon? Does anybody know what a lagoon is? Carter.
Like off of SpongeBob.
Yes, off of SpongeBob.
It's a body of water.
It is a body of salt water that was once a part of the ocean. So we've been learning about sediment and erosion and weathering and how things move. So what a lagoon is the sediment moving and breaking off a certain chunk of water from the rest of the ocean. So it's still salt water because it used to be a part of the ocean, but it's not connected. It's not getting the wave action anymore. Reese.
Is it like a lake?
It's like a saltwater lake. Yes.
Anybody?
Man.
Like a salt, like, so it's like a saltwater lake, which is like a mini ocean, just like a very small ocean. Like salt water.
Yeah, kind of. I don't want to waste a lot of time on this because it's not going to be on the test, but I just want to give you some schema. So a lagoon is salt water that's very close to the ocean. So, how many of you agree that that is a good piece of text evidence? In fact, you may have even used it yourself. Nicely done, guys. So here's the deal. So this is week 2 of our packets. Are you guys starting to feel much more comfortable with the way that the questions are laid out and what they're asking you to do? I really feel like you guys are being very successful at these. Here's the deal. You guys are going to be rock stars at this test because the questions on the MSP test are going to be very similar to these ones in the format and how they're asking you to answer them. So if you guys feel comfortable with this, you're going to be amazing. Reese.
So in the MSP, are we going to have just the science one?
Yes, you are going to be just doing a Science MSP. All right. One more question, Anne.
So when you say laid out like very similar by laid out like this, do you mean like there will be like the other questions? So okay, so is it MSP on the computer or on the paper?
The MSP will be a paper test. So it will be like this. And the questions won't have the same, it won't be the same information. It'll be different information. It'll ask you different questions. But the format's going to be the same. There's going to be the same circle some answers, write some information, write procedures lists. Logan.
Isn't the MSP, doesn't it have two papers because there's one paper where you have to fill the bubbles, or is it the...
You know what? I've never been here during the 5th grade MSP. Mr. Johansson may be able to answer that question.
So let me help you out with that. You're going to have a book, just like you have a packet right now, and all your writing is going to be in the book. Okay. There is no bubble sheet like the MBA has.
Oh,
is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is going to be in a book just like these are in packets. If you put our 3 packets together that we were doing last week, this week, and next week, that's a little bit more than the real test is going to be. So.
You guys got this. All right. One more thought, and then we're going to move on. Lucy.
So on the MSP, so is it kind of like it asks you a question, but you show your work on the sheet?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know how some of the questions have the space at the bottom to write out your answers? The space just like that will be on the MSP. Do you know why Mr. J writes up the questions the way he does with that space right there? So you get comfortable with writing in a space like that.
So do you guys know what the word retire means? Can you tell your neighbor, what does the word retire mean? I want you to do this right now. I got one. Somebody quickly tell me what's retire? What does retire mean?
When you're too old to work.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Guys, these are retired test questions. These used to be on the test, and they've retired them. So if that's where I got them from the state of Washington. They've retired them. I pulled them off their website so you can see what the test looks like. They have newer questions, but they look the same.
I think we all owe Mr. J a thank you.
Oh.
Thank you, Mr. J.
I want you guys to show what you know. I don't want you to get tripped up because it looks different.
Perfect.
Right?
Here's what I would like you to do when I say go, and only after I say go. Because I'm going to have you all come up at the same time and put this away, I'm actually going to have you do it by groups. So if you are on the floor, would you please come turn your paper in? Once the floor has turned it in, would you guys please turn your paper in? Once this strip is done, you may, then you may, then this table may, and then you can in the back may. Thank you very much. That's exactly what I did, Mommy. I saved the best for last. Yeah. That's why I told Wesley to go last. That was a good one. Burn. A lot of different stuff this week. We covered a lot of material. I just kept shoving information into your brain. Today what I would like to do is to make sure that some of that information actually stuck. So we're going to do a little review. So today we're going to review all these targets on the board. Alex, would you read me one of the things that we're going to be reviewing today?
All energy is either in potential or kinetic form.
Yes. Lucy.
How to write material lists and procedures.
Thank you. Kyla.
Water can exist in different physical states.
Yes. And finally, Taya.
There are 3 types of soil and 3 types of rock.
Yes. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through some slides that show what we talked about this week. While I'm going through the slides, I want you to be refreshing your schema, reactivating your thoughts. I want those little explosions to go off in your head. Oh yeah, I remember this. Okay.
Like off the Mythbusters?
Just like off the Mythbusters yesterday. So, I'm going to hang on to the slide for like 10 seconds and let you connect with it, and then I'll move on. Okay? We learned about the water cycle. Alex, would you do me a favor and please break that circuit? Just the front one. Thank you. About all the different things we learned about water. We learned about soil. We learned about rocks. We learned about potential and kinetic energy. And Carly will probably remember we learned about force and work. All right. Is everybody's brains refreshed as to what we did this week? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Here's what I would like you to do. When I say go, and only after I say go, I would like you to stand up and find your thumb buddy. And I would like for you to tell your thumb buddy two things, the two most important things that you learned this week. Once you've done, once one person